I'm lucky enough that I was in a lot of great bands, and to this day they're still like family to me, the people that I played in the bands with, because you travel the world with these people, you're practicing 3-4 hours a day with these people, and it's a real like brotherhood, especially in heavy metal. Everybody knows each other. It's like a huge family when you're in a heavy metal band. And I was fortunate enough to be able to tour the world. I got to see a lot of cool places, like all over Europe. I went all over South America, all over Canada and Mexico, and I got paid for it, which was really awesome. I never got paid enough to really make a living off of it. I could live for a few months off of it, but making a full living I was never able to do, because in heavy metal that's kind of tough. A misconception about playing in a heavy metal band is that you're going to get a lot of chicks, and that unfortunately was something I did not experience at all. The 10 years that I toured the world, I didn't get laid one time, and it was pretty much a sausage fest at a lot of the shows. A lot of guys are into heavy metal, and the girls that are at heavy metal shows are usually with the guys that are into heavy metal. It was good because I had to focus on drums. I didn't focus as much on dating or trying to get laid, things like that. I pretty much spent all my time, every waking hour, practicing drums, and I think that's one of the reasons I got so good, is because I didn't have these distractions like vagina.
This is the result of severe musicianship.
Jesus. It reminds me of this girl I once knew.
I gotta move.
That's fucking sick. Let's see the thumb.
Pulsing.
And the thumb?
The thumb ain't bad yet. That top layer will come off, but this is what's bad so far.
When I'm in the middle of a set playing with a band live, I just look out in the crowd and I kind of feed off of the energy of the crowd. One of my favorite shows I ever played was at the Dynamo Festival in Holland in May of 1998 with the band Death. We played in front of 35,000 people. There was a massive mosh pit of about 1,000 people. And just looking down on that was one of the biggest rushes of my life. Seeing that these people were feeding off of our energy and we were feeding back off of theirs, it just gave me the biggest high that I could ever dream of. And also playing in Death was always one of my favorite bands, even when I was in high school. And being able to be on the stage with my favorite band, playing music that I love and making people happy, and looking out and seeing 35,000 heavy metal fans, that was definitely one of the highlights of my life. In a band, a drummer is usually the backbone. They're the rhythm along with the bass player for a band. But a lot of the drummers I was drawn to were more flashy and more out front. I was always drawn to real technical drummers like Neil Peart, And you know, when you hear about the band Rush, which is the band he plays in, everybody right away says Neil Peart, and usually it's not like that with a drummer. That's when I started studying several hours a day, because I wanted to be that kind of drummer that was original and would stand out, but I also wanted to be able to play crazy fills, odd times, jazz type signatures, things like that. So I studied a lot of jazz, a lot of Cuban music, just other styles to kind of meld into one to have my own personal sound.
Mr. Richard Christy from The Howard Stern Show. What do you think?
One of my proudest drumming moments is, one of my drumming heroes is the drummer Mike Portnoy, who plays in a band Dream Theater. I'm a huge fan of theirs, and in 2005 he actually contacted me because he's a fan of the show and invited me to do a drum solo at Jones Beach on Long Island for a gig that they were doing in front of about 8,000 people. I was so nervous, and I just went there that day to the venue, hung out with Mike on his tour bus. We kind of wrote down what we were going to play and just went up there and kind of winged it in front of 8,000 people. Mike has one of the most massive drum sets in the world. It's big enough where two people can sit down and play it at the same time. So that was definitely one of my proudest moments in drumming. When I think about what I do for a living now, I definitely owe it all to drumming, because it's something I've worked the hardest at, practicing 3 or 4 hours a day for the last 23 years, and it's something I devoted most of all of my life to. And drumming has definitely helped me, because it showed me that if you're dedicated and you work hard at something, then you can do it. Because I never could have imagined in my wildest dreams when I was 10 years old that I would be able to get in front of 35,000 people and play music for 2 hours straight. And I wasn't nervous at all when I got up there, and that was because I was confident in myself and I practiced so much that I knew I could do it. Drumming has definitely given me a lot of confidence to know that if I work hard at something, I can definitely do it.